She left him with 2 babies and a broken heart, but he built a family that changed the world. 20 years later, her return sparked a movement no one saw coming. Will their legacy outshine the past? Welcome to our channel. We are building a community where kindness is our most cherished and honored word. Subscribe to be part of our family. 20 years after she abandoned us, my daughters and I built a life she couldn't imagine. But when she returned, it sparked a new chapter we never expected. Elias Grant stood on the fire escape of their small apartment, the city's lights twinkling below like a sea of stars. The air was cool, carrying the scent of autumn leaves, and his daughters, Nora and Ivy, sat beside him, their mugs of chamomile tea steaming. It had been weeks since Clara, their mother, reappeared after 2 decades, her brief visit stirring old wounds, but leaving them with closure. Elias, a tall black man with deep brown skin and eyes etched with quiet strength, had raised his fair-skinned daughters alone, their emerald green eyes and silver blonde hair, a stark contrast to his own features. He'd given them everything: love, stability, dreams despite Clara's betrayal. Now, at 20, Nora was an engineering master's student designing sustainable cities, and Ivy was an artist whose paintings captured hearts. Their forgiveness of Clara had freed them, but the encounter had planted new questions about their future. What did it mean to move forward, not just as a family, but as a legacy? The apartment, though modest, was a haven of warmth, its walls lined with photos, Elias cheering at Nora's science fairs, his face dusted with flour from baking with Ivy, glitter in his hair from her art projects. The city hummed below, a reminder of the life they'd built through relentless effort. Elias had worked 3 jobs: warehouse shifts, community center janitor, grocery delivery to provide for his daughters after Clara left, taking their savings and his grandfather's pocket watch. He'd sold his truck, patched his sneakers with duct tape, and learned to braid their hair, all to ensure Nora and Ivy never felt abandoned. Mrs. Delors, the elderly neighbor who'd become their surrogate grandmother, had been their rock, her sweet potato pies and stories of her coastal childhood a constant comfort. Now, with Clara's return behind them, Elias felt a shift. The girls were grown, their dreams taking flight, and he began to wonder what his own future held. He'd poured everything into them, but Clara's apology had stirred a quiet desire to build something new, not just for them, but for himself. A new figure entered their lives: Ms. Evelyn Carter, a community leader who ran a local nonprofit focused on supporting single parents. Evelyn, a vibrant woman in her 50s with a warm smile and a knack for inspiring others, had heard of Elias through Mrs. Delors. She visited one Sunday, her arms laden with homemade peach cobbler, and sat at their kitchen table, listening to Elias's story of raising Nora and Ivy alone. "You're a beacon, Elias," she said, her voice firm. "Your story could help others." She invited him to speak at her nonprofit's annual gala, a chance to share his journey and inspire single parents across the city. Elias hesitated. Public speaking wasn't his strength, but Nora and Ivy urged him on. "You've been our hero, Dad," Nora said, her emerald eyes bright. "Now be theirs." Ivy nodded, sketching a poster for the event in her notebook, her artist's hands already envisioning a design that captured his resilience. Elias prepared for the gala, his nerves jangling as he practiced his speech in the mirror, his deep voice stumbling over words. Nora helped him refine it, her engineering precision shaping his story into a clear narrative. Ivy designed a backdrop for the event, a mural of a bridge stretching toward a vibrant horizon, symbolizing the connections Elias had built. The gala was held in a community center ballroom, its walls draped with fairy lights. Elias stood before a crowd of single parents, social workers and donors, his work boots polished for once. He spoke of sleepless nights, of carrying Nora and Ivy while delivering groceries, of the humiliation of being accused of taking his own daughters, and of the joy in their triumphs: Nora's science fair ribbons, Ivy's gallery exhibitions. "I didn't raise them to survive," he said, his voice steadying. "I raised them to thrive." The room erupted in applause, and Evelyn hugged him afterward, her eyes misty. "You've started something, Elias. This is just the beginning." The gala opened new doors. Evelyn introduced Elias to Jamal, a young carpenter in his late 20s, who'd grown up in foster care and saw Elias as a mentor. Jamal, with his quick wit and skilled hands, joined them for Sunday dinners, his laughter blending with Mrs. Delores' stories and the girls' banter. He taught Nora about woodworking, inspiring her to incorporate sustainable materials into her bridge designs. Ivy found his tales of traveling the country by bus fueling her paintings, her canvases now bursting with vibrant landscapes. Jamal became like a brother, helping Ivy hang her artwork and joining Nora in the apartment's tiny garage to tinker with old motors. Elias and Jamal bonded over late-night repairs, talking about life and fatherhood. "You're the dad I never had," Jamal said one evening, his voice quiet. Elias clapped his shoulder. "You're family now, son." The girls embraced Jamal, their bond growing through game nights and shared dreams. Nora's engineering career soared. She presented her thesis at a national symposium, her design for a solar-powered bridge earning a standing ovation and a grant to fund her research. Elias was there, in the back row, his boots still dusted with warehouse grit, his smile wide as she spoke passionately about sustainable infrastructure. Ivy's art gained traction, her latest exhibition at a city gallery drawing crowds. Her paintings' vivid depictions of human resilience moved viewers, one critic calling her a voice for the unspoken. Elias stood by her, his pride a quiet glow. Ms. Evelyn attended, bringing a group of single parents from her nonprofit, who saw Ivy's work as a testament to the strength of their own families. Mrs. Delores, frailer but spirited, brought cornbread, her laughter filling the gallery. Jamal helped hang the paintings, his presence a steady support. Elias began to see his daughter's success as part of a larger legacy, one that extended beyond their small apartment to the community around them. Inspired by Evelyn, Elias enrolled in a night course in small business management, dreaming of opening a repair shop where he could fix engines and appliances, work with his hands, and be home for dinner. Nora sketched logos for Grant's repairs, her designs sleek and modern, reflecting her engineering precision. Ivy wrote a tagline, "Built on heart, fixed with care." Jamal offered to help build the shop's counters, his carpentry skills turning Elias's vision into reality. The idea took root, and Elias began saving, his warehouse wages stretched thin but bolstered by the community's support. Evelyn connected him with a local bank that offered small business loans to single parents, and Elias applied, his heart pounding as he submitted the paperwork. The approval came weeks later, a moment of triumph that Nora and Ivy celebrated with him, baking a lopsided cake that left flour on everyone's faces. A new character entered their lives, Aisha, a young social worker at Evelyn's nonprofit, who'd been inspired by Elias's gala speech. Aisha, in her early 30s, had grown up in a single-parent home and saw Elias as a role model. She started a mentorship program for young parents, asking Elias to co-lead it. He hesitated, unsure he had wisdom to share, but Aisha's enthusiasm and Nora and Ivy's encouragement convinced him. The program met weekly at the community center, where Elias shared practical tips: how to budget on one income, how to find free resources, how to keep going when the world felt heavy. Aisha brought her own insights, her warmth creating a safe space for parents to share their struggles. One young father, Diego, credited Elias with helping him stay afloat after his partner left, his story echoing Elias's own. The mentorship program grew, and Elias found purpose in it, his quiet strength inspiring others to persevere. Months after Clara's visit, a package arrived, its wrapping worn but carefully taped. It was from her. Inside was a letter and a small, tarnished object, Elias's grandfather's pocket watch, its engraved face dulled but intact. The letter, in Clara's shaky hand, read, "I found this in a pawn shop last year. It took months to save enough to buy it back. I carry your photos every day, and they remind me of what I lost and what you built. I'm working at a shelter, trying to help others who lost their way. Thank you for raising our girls into women I could never deserve. I won't return, but this belongs to you." Elias held the watch, its weight heavy with memory. Nora and Ivy sat beside him, the kitchen table lit by a single lamp. "You gave us more than she ever could," Nora said, squeezing his hand. Ivy nodded. And you gave us the strength to forgive. Elias set the watch on the table, its ticking a quiet reminder of time reclaimed. They sat together, the apartment filled with the scent of Mrs. Delores' cornbread, the radio playing softly. Jamal and Aisha joined them, their laughter blending as they shared stories of the past and dreams for the future. The years unfolded, and Nora's designs took shape. Her first bridge, a solar-powered marvel, opened in a nearby town, its sleek arches gleaming under the sun. Elias was there for the ribbon cutting, his eyes glistening as Nora's name was engraved on a plaque. Ivy's paintings gained national recognition, featured in a traveling exhibition about hope and healing. Elias attended every opening, his pride a quiet glow. Grant's Repairs opened its doors, with Jamal as Elias's partner, the storefront a testament to their perseverance. Nora installed solar lights. Ivy painted a mural of a bridge, stretching toward a vibrant horizon. Mrs. Delores visited, bringing pies and stories, her presence a constant warmth. Aisha's mentorship program grew, and Elias became a mentor to dozens, his story inspiring parents across the city. Jamal proposed a community workshop at the shop, teaching kids to fix things, and Elias agreed, seeing it as a way to give back. Diego, now a confident father, joined as a volunteer, his gratitude to Elias evident in every lesson he taught. One evening, Elias sat on the fire escape with Nora. Ivy, Jamal, and Aisha, the city sparkling below. They sipped hot chocolate, the mugs warming their hands as a breeze carried the scent of autumn leaves. You ever think about what might have been if she'd stayed? Nora asked softly. Elias shook his head. Doesn't matter. We built something better. Ivy smiled. You built us, Dad. Jamal raised his mug. To family chosen and made. Aisha nodded, her eyes bright. And to legacies that lift others up. They clinked mugs, the sound a celebration of their journey. Elias looked at his daughters, their faces lit by the city's glow, and at Jamal and Aisha, whose presence added new chapters to their story. The ache of Clara's absence had faded, replaced by a peace deeper than he'd known. They were his legacy, his joy, his reason, and in their strength he found his own. The shop became a community hub, where parents from Aisha's program gathered. Kids learned to fix bikes, and Nora tested her engineering prototypes. Ivy painted a second mural, this one of a tree with roots deep and branches wide, symbolizing their family's growth. Elias spoke at another gala, his voice stronger now, sharing how community Mrs. Delores, Miss Harper, Amara, Evelyn, Jamal, Aisha had woven a tapestry of support around them. Nora's bridges began appearing in cities nationwide, each one a testament to sustainable design. Ivy's art inspired a documentary, her story of growing up with Elias's love touching viewers worldwide. Elias, now in his late 40s, felt a new purpose. He wasn't just a father. He was a mentor, a builder, a beacon. The watch, now polished and ticking on his dresser, reminded him of time lost but also time reclaimed. One quiet Sunday, Mrs. Delores, now in her late 70s, gathered them for a special dinner. Her health was fading, but her spirit was bright. She raised a glass of sweet tea, her voice steady. Elias, you turned pain into purpose. Nora, Ivy, you're proof of that. And Jamal, Aisha, you're part of this family now. They toasted, their laughter filling the apartment. Mrs. Delores passed away months later, her funeral a celebration of her warmth. Elias, Nora, Ivy, Jamal, and Aisha stood together, sharing stories of her pies and wisdom. Her will left them her recipe book, its pages stained with love, and Elias vowed to keep her traditions alive. The community center named a scholarship after her, and Nora and Ivy funded it, ensuring her legacy lived on. Years later, Elias stood at the opening of Nora's largest bridge, a marvel spanning a river, its solar panels gleaming. Ivy's art adorned the visitor center, her murals telling stories of resilience. Grant's Repairs had grown, with a second location, run by Jamal and Diego. Aisha's program expanded nationally, with Elias as an ambassador, his story inspiring thousands. One evening, Elias sat alone on the fire escape. The city's lights a familiar comfort. He held Clara's letter, its words faded but clear. He didn't need her forgiveness anymore. He'd found his own. Nora and Ivy joined him, their presence a reminder of their shared journey. "We're proud of you, Dad," Nora said. Ivy nodded. "You didn't just raise us, you raised a community." Elias smiled, his eyes misty. The ache of the past was gone, replaced by a legacy of love, strength, and connection. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs hope. Drop a comment below. Where in the world are you watching from? Subscribe and hit the bell for more emotional, inspiring stories that remind us of the power of love and resilience. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep building. This is part 2, and this is not the end of the story. Follow, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to know when we post our next story. Stay blessed and think kindness.